Hi Marcovigne, this video is a redo of one I done in French for French user about how to implement H264 or MP4 in 3dsMAX. So by default, if you want to generate a preview from your viewport in 3dsMAX, you go on the create preview utility. It will generate a preview as AVI. Main problem of by default in 3dsMAX is AVI got some codec, but most of them are completely outdated in 2023. You got codec Intel, blah blah blah, DV video encoder, Microsoft Video 1, MJPEG compressor or uncompress. So most of the time you will use or MJPEG or uncompress. Uncompress is the one that will give you the best quality. Main problem is file size will be very big for a short amount of time. So I will generate one. OK, as uncompress, generate file. When it generates the file, I will go on my project folder, preview. OK, so generate my file, and you see for only 3 seconds, it will generate a file size about 355 megabytes. This is too big for what it is. So you want a better codec and a more actual one. So for this, we will install H264. For this, close 3dsMAX. Then go on sourceforge.net /project /x264 VFW. I will put the link on the description. Download it, then install it. When you install it, be sure both x86 and x64 will be installed, so both need to be checked. Install them. When installed, go to Start menu, All Application, go all on the bottom of the list. You will find x264 VFW. Right-click on the Configure x264 VFW 64 for 64-bit application, plus Execute as admin. Then, on the new window opening, which is main setting for the encoder to use by default in all applications, be sure to check zero latency. This is very important. Check it. Then choose how you want to control the quality of your video, or only choose the single pass method, not the multipass method. I will choose a single pass based on bitrate. I will choose a bitrate of 10,000. Then click OK. Now main default are set. Now reopen 3dsMAX. Let's wait for 3dsMAX to be opened. And here we go. Let's reopen Excel file. Hop. OK. Now, if you go on the Create Preview utility, still as AVI, if you go on the Setup, you will now find the new codec X264 VFW. Choose it, Setup, make sure zero latency is checked, and now you could generate preview as AVI 264. So this is still AVI, you got limitation from AVI, meaning you cannot have file bigger than 2 GB. And since this is using the H264 codec, be sure both length and height of your image got a pixel number multiple of 2. Okay, now this is done. I could go again on my project folder. Here we go, review. You could see that my uncompressed version is 355 megabytes for 3 seconds. Now using H264, my file is only around 1.77 megabytes, way smaller. And if I check the file with media info, we could see this is an ABI, but it's using H264. So this is the first method to implement H264 in 3dsMAX. The second method to implement H264 in 3dsMAX is to implement MP4 using Tyflow. So Tyflow is a plugin for doing VFX in 3dsMAX. And if you open the web page from Tyflow at pro.tyflow.com, all on the bottom of the page, or you could choose to pick Tyflow Pro, which is a pay plugin, or you could choose to use a Tyflow free plugin, which got the simulation tool, but also a few modifiers and few utility. So you download it, you install it. This is a doc for this. When Tyflow is installed, you got a module for create preview, and now you got two submenus, create type preview and view last type preview. If you click on create type preview, it will open you a new Windows. It will not use 3dsMAX default method. Instead, it uses the Tyflow method. So by default, it will choose your viewport active. Then there is a ton of options. Just read the doc for more information about this. By default, Tyflow will not save your MP4 file, your preview file, inside the preview folder of your project. If, like me, you are using the project folder structure from 3dsMAX, instead, it will save the preview file where your sense file is saved. So, hop, click Generate Preview. OK. So now, if I reopen the plugin, so this is when I install Tyflow. Let's go on my project folder. So if I go on the preview, you will not see the file generated by Tyflow preview. If I go where my scene file is saved, here, you see I got the preview from Tyflow. If I check the file with media info, you will see it generate a true MP4. This is a true MP4, not a .move rename into MP4. And it uses AVC codec, which is H264. So the last way to implement 264 or MP4 in 3dsMAX is by using a Cebas plugin called Max MP4. So you go on Cebas website, www.cebas.com, product, more product. You will find the plugin named Max MP4, learn more. You could read the description to learn more about Max MP4. Buy full version. This is not a free plugin, this is a subscription-based one. To have a full implementation of MP4 inside 3dsMAX. So if I go on Tool, Preview, hop, Create Preview Animation, it chooses default 3dsMAX tool, File. If I scroll down of a file format setting, I could find MP4 encoder. If I go on Setup, then it will open a new window. So here you can control the speed of the encoder or the quality. Also the quality of the rendering tuning the codec. But you will also see the codec. You could choose between H264 or H265. So let's keep H264. OK. Let's generate a 264 codec, 264 file in MP4. OK, OK. Generate. If I now open my project preview directory, I will find the file. Let's check the file with media info. Okay. We could see as a Tyflow, this is generating a true MP4 file, not a .mov rename. This is also encoding the MP4 file with AVC codec, which is H264. So unlike Tyflow, this one is a full implementation of the MP4 file format inside 3dsMAX. So you could use them as a texture. So let's generate a plane, open material editor, generate a material, assign it to the plane. Let's create now a bitmap. And you see, if I generate a bitmap, so I could use AVI, but also could use MP4 encoder in bitmap, and I could use MP4 as a texture. Hop. You could also use it in rendering RAM player. So if you got a sequence load in RAM player, you could output it and save it as MP4. Also, but please never do this. You could save your rendering as MP4, but please never do this. Always render as sequence. Thanks for having listening to me. I hope you find this information useful. See you next time. Ciao.